Hello, welcome back. Right, booty comparison video. Booty of course means something different nowadays, so this is not the kind of video you were expecting if you were after a video about celebrity backsides or whose arse is it anyway. It's Booty from Firebird in 1984, released for the ZX Spectrum, the Amstrad CPC 464 and the Commodore 64. Might have come out on other things, I don't know. I've only ever played the Spectrum version of this. I've not played the Amstrad and Commodore 64 versions until today. It's a pirate collect 'em up. You've got to wander around the ship, the various levels and screens, collecting all the booty, avoiding the traps, collecting keys to get through doors, etc, etc, etc. Now, I didn't play it an awful lot back in the day. I have done a standalone video of it way back when, but of course when I was just focusing on Spectrum stuff. This is the first time I've ever seen the other two versions, so the purpose of it is just to compare them with each other and for everyone to sort of share their memories and what they think of the differences and similarities between the three versions. As ever, please shout out in the comment section what you think of each version, your particular memories of the game. Now, budget games, of course, 1984, when budget games first came out, they had a sort of reputation as being a bit crap, but that fairly quickly changed, and although there were thousands and thousands of budget games released, many of them went on to become considered as instant classics that gave full price releases a run for their money. Off the top of my head, the Finders Keepers, the Magic Night games from Mastertronic, Finders Keepers, Spellbound, Nighttime and Stormbringer. The Dizzy games, personally I hate them, but loads of other people really enjoy them. Now, Firebird were one of the more prolific of the publishers of budget software, but I didn't have an awful lot of their games. In fact, I can't remember of any that I actually bought myself. I did play a few of them, but I'm going to be concentrating a little bit over the coming weeks on some of these budget games because it gives me an opportunity to sort of like show you how good some of them are. So over the coming weeks we've got we will have Motos, Bosconian coming. I'll be having a look at Kane. That one in particular because people have recommended that to me before and it always seems to be well regarded, but also because there's a BBC Micro version of it, so I can do another 4-system comparison on that. I've never played the game at all yet, so I'm intrigued to see what it's like. But let's get into Booty. Ooh, misses. Okay, here we go. Right, Booty for the ZX Spectrum. As I said, it was £2.50 from Firebird back in 1984, written by John F. Kane. Really nice screen and sort of shimmery sea effect there. Have played this before. Didn't play it much back in the day, if at all. No, I did play it a little bit back in the day. I never owned it though, if you know what I mean. Right, okay, there's the basic layouts of the screen. This is just the sort of demo mode there. You can see we've got to go through each screen, unlocking doors by collecting each different numbered key for different numbered doors, avoiding the sort of baddies and collecting the booty on the ship. Now, you can only carry one key at a time, so you've got to kind of look at each screen as you go and see how you're going to make your way around it, and you can go through doors, etc. to get onto different levels, as we will see. No good at it, but let's have a go. So, as ever, your memories, please. Right, okay, here. So, first thing I've got to do is collect key number 4. There we go. Now, the graphics on this are really nice. They look very Spectrum-y, but I've always liked the way Booty looks. Ooh, don't we all? But this was a game, like I said, I didn't play much back in the day, and only really sort of visited it last year when it came to doing my video of my sort of video of Booty on the Spectrum. Oh dear, I thought I had key number 1. What key have I got now? I've got key number 7 now, which is all the way down the bottom, and I don't want that just yet. I want to get key number 8 so I can sort of get everything together as it goes. Now, the level design is quite sort of fiendish, screen design, etc. And sometimes when you go to pick up those items of treasure, you will inadvertently, or they'll be hiding a bomb, and you'll have to sort of hot foot it away from it as quick as you can. But it does make you think. It does make you sort of look at the screen, and there's a bomb there, and it fucking got me. But that means now I can pick up key number 8 because I've used key number 7 now. Yeah, it's a very good game. It plays incredibly well. There we go, I've just gone through there. Oh, get up there. The collision detection, as you will see, sometimes a little bit ropey. Sometimes you don't have to be that near to the baddies to actually sort of for them to sort of detect a hit. And you can see there's some sort of like colour clash going on there with all the sort of techniques they've used to avoid colour clash there with those big squares. Oh, I'm down the bottom here. But yeah, it's for £2.50 you could never have knocked it. And remember when sort of budget games first came out, the quality of them was decidedly ropey, but over time they got better and better and better, and it gave some full price games a real run for their money. Now we are of course going to see this on the Amstrad CPC and as well, oh bloody hell, what have I got to do here? Oh, I didn't see it, oh for God's sake, yeah, it chucks you right back to the start, which is unfortunate. If I can get key 2 there, and I'll try and go a different way. Ah! Oh, just about. Yeah, Amstrad CPC and Commodore 64 versions I have not played before. And so, I'd never, oh for God's sake, I'd never have managed to get out of the way of that. Now, of course, the Spectrum version of Booty has, a hidden game in it, which was only activated apparently if you, that was game over by the way, if you had a Kura M-Speech unit attached to the Spectrum. I've never played it. I did think of downloading it, but I've just reminded myself that I completely forgot to do that. So, yeah. Silly bads. Right, what key have I got now? I've got key number 1. Where's door number 1? Oh, that's up there, isn't it? Right, okay. Now, yeah, everything about this game is quite nice. The level design. Hang on, I've got key. Oh, I've got key 7, haven't I? Ooh, yeah. Everything about this game is nice. Especially the sort of asking price, you know, £2 is not to be knocked at all. £2.50 is not to be knocked at all. And I didn't have an awful lot of, I had a lot of budget games, but I didn't have an awful lot of Firebird games. I've got key 6, haven't I? That's down there, you twit. So what are the best sort of Firebird games to check out? Right, okay. Hang on, I've got key number 1, right, okay. Now, of course, by opening the doors, you can sort of give yourself time to react, because you open up that particular level. Once the door is open, is opened up for gives the baddies more room to sort of like walk into, which gives you more time to think, more time to get around things and do it. But some of these screens are really sort of devious. It might just be me, just the way I'm sort of playing it, but oh yeah, got to get out of his way. Now these things here, you've got to step on them at exactly the right moment, because John the cabin boy cannot fall any kind of distance really. That would mean instant death. But Booty is kind of regarded as like one of the classics of the era, and you know, you can sort of see, oh, I need key 3, right, just key 5, where's door 5? Oh, door 5's down there, right, okay. Right, so I'm going to have to, again, sort of, like I said, it makes you sort of like look and figure your way around the screen, and it's really quite well implemented and designed in that respect. The music does get quite irritating. You know, if you'd have had this back in the day on your 48K rubber key Spectrum or Spectrum Plus, you'd have had no choice but to listen to it, because it, of course, oh shite, had oh for God's sake, only had the beeper music, which had no volume control on it. Whereas if you were lucky enough to own a 128 or one of the 128 Plus models, you could, of course... Why didn't it let me... Oh, you could of course turn the volume down on the TV. But this is a really good puzzle game, and you know, I've not heard people say bad things. Oh, what door do I want? Door number 4. I've not heard anyone say particularly bad things about Booty. Any criticisms aimed at it are, I suppose, collision detection, which you can understand. The kind of graphical style, which is, you know, can be forgiven for what it was back in the day. Come on, right, okay, across we go. Oh shit! You see what I mean? He can't fall any kind of distance really, because he's a bit of a wuss. But yeah, really nice pirate 'em up. Now I think there's 20 levels. If you hang around on the screen for too long, a bird or a rat will sort of come and sort of try and hurry you up, and you have to avoid them. So you've got that to consider as well. Oh, up we go. Come on. Oh, this is going to be... right, okay. Yeah, see where I've got to go now. Right. Now, of course, you move a little bit quicker than the bad guys. Now, I've got to get up this ladder before that bloke up the top there. And I've got key number 3. Right, up there. Where the fuck's key? Oh, God. Right, so I've got to go all the way back here, get key number 6. I don't have to, I could go through one of the doors, but I'm going to see, because I am in uncharted territory here. Ah! Oh, shit. Yeah, right, okay. That's Booty for the Spectrum. So let's check out the Amstrad version of the game now. See you in a bit. Okay, right, that was Booty for the Spectrum. Quite enjoyed that. Like I said, I never sunk much time into it back in the day. First ever experience of this on the Amstrad, so let's run it and get it going. Right, just turn the volume down on this a bit. Fairly nice loading screen sort of comes up there, and of course the game gets going sort of quite quickly because I'm using the USB to DDI3 doodah thing. The sort of Blue Peter whatever sort of theme that is, if you remember that. Right, the keys there, ZX left and right, those two keys for up and down. Not redefinable, but I've had a very, very quick play of this, and you know, these keys are perfectly workable. Joystick, bloody avoiding that. Right, press space to start a fresh game, so let's get on with it. Now, first things first, you'll see it's really, really nice and colourful, if quite blocky, but it's exactly the same sort of layout. And again, it's got that really feckin' annoying tune that does get on your nerves quite quickly. Oh, and the bombs as well. Quite nice explosion effect there, actually. But it's, yeah, it's slower. The graphics are nice. The sound, fortunately, you could have Amstrad sound coming out of either the TV or the internal speaker on the 464. But luckily, the 464 has a volume switch on it for its internal speaker, so you can turn it right down like that. So it's just coming out the speaker now, so it's not quite as annoying. Now, the bad guys there, the sort of pirates, they remind me, if you've ever seen the Kenny Rogers does Jackass, it's really, really, really funny. I'll pop a link to one of the videos in the description box below. I suggest you check it out because they really are very, very amusing. But they remind me of that, the sort of caricature of the country and western singer Kenny Rogers in those videos. Oh, excuse me, got the hiccups now. Oh! So yeah, really, really good effect on the bombs there. Right, so it plays exactly the same. Things are moving a little slower than on the Spectrum. But again, this would have been £2.50. And not a bad £2.50 to spend. It's quite early on, I think, in the Amstrad's life. Oh, fuck's sake, I've picked up key 7 now. Would have wanted key 1. Right. Let's just wait for these two buggers to get out of the way. Haven't managed to access any doors yet. Now, one thing it didn't tell you on the front screen was to enter the doors. Because on the Spectrum you could define a key for it. You can't do that, obviously, on the Amstrad version. You have to press enter, but like I say, it doesn't tell you that. Oh, this could get close, actually. It is going to get close, isn't it? Is it going to have the same problems as the Spectrum with collision detection? Yeah. Oh, bollocks. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, right, it's slowing right down because that bird that is flying across is sort of warning, I suppose, that you're taking too much time, is slowed things right down there. But this is quite playable. Like I said, it's got nice graphics, even though John's looking a little jaundiced there. So right, let's go in here. Now, sometimes there's a bomb lurking in that thing, but I've got a sort of... No, there wasn't that time, which is good. But there was there. But that is a nice explosion effect. Now, there don't seem to be any sound effects. Don't seem to be. Just haven't heard any as yet, I suppose. Right, where's door 5? So I can't go there yet. Where am I? Oh, there, right, okay. So it's a bit difficult to see that. But yeah, oh, fuck it. A fun game. If quite garish, but then the Spectrum, you know, it had its graphical problems on its version of oh, that's the wrong key, that's why, of Booty. But this is, yeah, this is good. I like this. Oh, come on. Oh, he didn't know where he was going there. Right, okay. Oh, am I out of the range? Yes, I am, just about. Ah, so they can't even fall that far. Right, one more quick go on that. This is, yeah, this is quite an entertaining little game. Whether or not you like the style of the graphics, not sure. There you go, there's the multiple Kenny Rogers. I'm Kenny Rogers, Mr. Jackass. Sorry about that. Watch the video that I'm going to link down below. It's funny as fuck. Right, so let's just try and get back up this way. Oh, I can't. It's going to make me collect key number 7 as I go past it. That's bullshit. Ah, come on. So the Amstrad version to you probably looks quite slow. And it is. But it's still, what key have I got now? Key, I haven't got any bloody keys. Oh, sod it. There we go, some real sort of slowdown going on there. And now it's sped up again, especially the music. Now the little pigeon thing has fucked off. So come on, Amstrad owners, did you have this back in the day? Spectrum fans of Booty, what do you make of this? Do you think it's any good? Right, this is key 4. Won't get that just yet. Ah, see, look, I was quite a distance away from him when that happened, and that's a bit unfair. It has the same sort of problems with collision detection as the Spectrum version sort of had there. You could see that I was really sort of substantially far away from him when it registered that he sort of touched me, and that's a bit of a pain. That tune is really, really starting to grate now. Doot, doot, doot. So what were your favourite budget games from back in the day? There will be, over the course of the next couple of weeks, quite a few comparison of budget games for all systems, as many as I can make. I've got, I'm going to be working on Kane, which I've never played before, and I have for the BBC, Amstrad, Commodore and Spectrum. Also going to be showing you Motos, 3 versions, and Bosconian 87, 3 versions. Because there were some fantastic budget games to sort of show you. But anyway, that's the Amstrad version of Booty. You can see that it's more or less the Spectrum game with some colourful, blocky graphics. Right, let's move on and see what this is like on the Commodore 64. Okay, right, Booty for the Commodore 64. Now, again, first time I've ever played this version of it. Commodore fans, please, your thoughts on this if you ever played it. Right, okay, now, fortunately, this is a C64 game I can play with keys, as you can see there. Q, A I can use, and then I'll use M and less than arrow. And space to go through doors, pick up keys, etc. So you have to actually physically pick up keys in this game. Let's get it going. You can hear there's some sort of music going on there. Now, I wasn't too fond of the music in the Spectrum or Amstrad versions, found it quite annoying after a while. Let's see how this goes. Of course I am able to turn this down if I want to. There I am, just turning it up so you can hear it over my incessant rabbit. Right, F1 to start. So that's me up the top there, top left. And the sprite is an interesting one. He's quite fat compared to what we've seen before. And he's got big hair, big hair. Now this music already is a little bit irritating. See, look, I forgot to, you have to physically pick the keys up on this one. And they are not numbered as they are in the Spectrum and Amstrad versions. They're colour coded. You'll see above each door. I'm not sure how well that will pick it out on this video because my camera doesn't really do the colours on Commodore 64 games fantastically well. But you'll see the keys are the same colour as the sort of posts on top of the doors. That means you can use the key to go through it. So I've just managed to do that. Now there's the yellow key there, so I pick that up down there. It's slow. The graphics are strange, I think. But I mean, I've had a sort of 10 minutes on this or so, and again the sort of same points I made for the other versions. You know, £2.50. Can you really knock it? Especially as it isn't a horrific game. Well, I don't think it's horrific. I'm not sure what other people think or how it might have reviewed back in the day, but it's really good. Now, one of the advantages it does have over the other versions is because you have to physically pick up the keys as opposed to it automatically picking them up for you. You know, it takes out that frustration from the other versions whereby you'd be plotting your way around the sort of screens, etc., and you would go over a key and it would pick it up and it would be not the key you wanted for the door that was in front of you. So real pain in the ass. Now there's a really nice effect there that isn't in the other two versions that I've seen so far. Those portholes, just sort of there. That's really, really nice. But like I say, the actual main sprite is quite ugly and fat. And if you remember my video of the comparison of Chucky Egg that I did, I was also critical. Oh, for God's sake! See, you can't duck to get out of the way of the ducks, basically. Of the sort of fat, really fat Henhouse Harry sprite in that, but you know, the game plays well. He's not as well animated as the other versions, and you know. In relation to music, then we're getting, oh for fuck's sake, that's going to put me all the way back there. And we're getting exactly what we got with the other two games, a tune that's becoming quite irritating now, but I'm going to keep it going. Right, let's try this screen again. The screens seem to mirror the other versions well. of course, there's allegedly sort of... Oh! Whoa! That was quite a nice effect. I prefer the effect on the Amstrad better. At least this has got sort of sound effects of a sort, which the Amstrad version didn't have. Right, let's try one more go. You see some nice sort of graphics up the top there. That's quite good. Right, okay. So it's Kevin A. Maltin, I think I pronounced that right, that wrote the Commodore 64 version. Of course, Spectrum and Amstrad by John F. Kane. So let's start one more go of this. Oh, get me fingers in the right space. But yeah, one of the more well-known, particularly on the Spectrum budget games. There were, of course, thousands released by many different labels, some of which went on to achieve, you know, greatness. The sort of Magic Night games, Dizzy. I personally can't stand Dizzy, but loads of people love them. Love the Dizzy games, but me and David Birdsall, we seem to be the only ones that can see it for what it really is, which is an egg-shaped pain in the backside. Right, what colour key have I got now? Can't remember. Oh, fuck. Right. Yeah, this isn't bad. And I really do quite like that porthole effect there. I think that's quite neat. I've been on the screen, haven't I? Oh yeah, it's right. So let's go in there. I need a brown door. Not going to find one, am I? Nope. Anyway, well, you can see what the game's like, really, for yourself there. From that, I'm not going to play it sort of any further. So that was Booty for all three systems. Right, let's go to the outro. Okay, so there you have it. Three different versions of Booty: ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64. Hello, dog. What do you want? Released by Firebird in 1984. £2.50 special. Across all systems, it don't look fantastic. Very nice screen, menu screen, sort of, or header screen, whatever you would call it, on the Spectrum there. Nice shimmering effect. It doesn't look fantastic. It doesn't sound great, but it plays very nicely. You wouldn't have begrudged spending £2.50 out of your £5 pocket money and having £2.50 left over for a can of pop and some Panini football stickers. So what did I make of the versions? Well, the Spectrum and Amstrad versions had their own sort of graphical style. Spectrum on some screens, such as this, was you know, quite sort of garish, but the sprites and characters are animated quite well. The Amstrad version was a bit ugly, although it was nice and colourful, and it was much slower, although I did love the Kenny Rogers style characters on that. Please check out that video that I'm going to link in the description box below, because it is so funny. Not safe for work, by the way. And the Commodore 64 version, well, that looked really ugly, but it did have an advantage over the other two versions in that you didn't automatically pick up the keys when you walked over them. So it changed that mechanic slightly. Still made you think. The screen layout was still the same. All three versions had, you know, not very good sound. Well, it was decent enough, but it just got to be a pain in the arse after a while. With the Amstrad and Commodore 64, obviously you can turn the music down as you could on the 128K Spectrums. You know, you just turn it down through the telly. If you were lumbered with a rubber key 48K or a Plus, you wouldn't have been able to turn that off. It would have just been incessant going on or coming out of the beeper. But how it looks and how it sounds doesn't take away from the fact that it's a really good, playable little game. Very good value for money it would have represented. Now, by all means, shout out if you think that I'm wrong, if you agree with me or whatever. If you know the game at all, which version you had, which versions, or what you think of the versions that you've never seen before, and has this sort of made you want to go and check any of them out. If you like the video, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe, please do so. But if you do subscribe, please, please, please take the time to join in with all the conversations and discussion, because that's what it's all about. Okay, thanks ever so much if you've got this far, for getting this far. Take care, goodbye.